Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Friday, July 29th, day, I don't know, 24 maybe in the Big Brother house. We have a new head of household. Alyssa did get evicted. Not Alyssa. Amira did get evicted. Last night, vote was 7-4. I'm going to assume most of you have seen that. If you haven't, you might want to check it out. It was not a jaw dropper, at least for Amira. She told Julie she was kind of suspicious because everything was going too easy. She did look very concerned through most of the show, and I thought she'd been told, but it doesn't appear that she was actually told. But she would have been a really bad player if she didn't have some paranoia. So she handled it very well. She didn't go out angry. She didn't go out, I think she was taking it all in and realizing that there's a lot she didn't realize was going on. So watch what you say, because you don't know as much as maybe the people that she's talking to, like Julie and stuff. So she didn't say anything bad about people that I recall. She kind of just she handled it very well for getting blindsided. Inside the house, different story. Obviously, jaws were dropped. Both Alyssa and Nicole's jaws were down for quite a while, and it was obvious they were all blindsided. So Alyssa, Nicole, Jasmine, Daniel, and who's the other one? Gotta look. Gotta cheat. Oh, Indy. Yeah, they were all completely shocked and not happy, and some of them fell into the I just want to take my toys and go home kind of thing, specifically Indy. One of the... And this is more stuff that happened after the feeds came back, after the head of household. I'll get to that in just a second. But I'm doing kind of a short recap today, partly because I'm exhausted, I'm tired. I missed the feeds coming back because I was actually working again, doing stuff. And so I had to play catch up for a very brief moment last night, and then I went to bed, and then I'm up and I'm catching up. So I apologize that this isn't complete, but we'll get you caught up over the weekend. And things will be changing constantly. This is the busiest time. From the feeds coming back after after the show on Thursday until really the Power Veto competition. That's and maybe the day after the Power Veto competition or the night after the Power Veto competition. That's the busiest time. That's when things are getting figured out. And so it's a moving target on what's going on, and things will change in the next 36 hours drastically. This is when everything changes and forms. So Indy was very much of a I would just want to go home. This isn't what I signed up for. And Indy, again, is a fan of Big Brother Brazil. That's not the Big Brother USA version. She's like, I want to come into the house and have fun. I came in to have fun for the summer, not to do this. And it's like, well, you came to the wrong game, because Big Brother USA is not about fun necessarily. I mean, there's some fun to be had, but there's a lot of pressure. It's your life is in the hands of your co-house guests. I mean, it happens in international Big Brother that you nominate each other, but the voting doesn't happen. It's all up to the TV viewer, and that's not the case with Big Brother USA. So the show, Amira went out, did a decent job on the interview. The house guests went in the backyard, and there was a movie-tied, theme for the head of household. They did a two-parter again, which I have a sneaking suspicion we will see more of that. Now that they've managed to say, you know what, we can give the people something to watch, and then we can still do a cliffhanger. And they don't know what's happened until the feeds come back. And so they did that, where they dropped 1,500 envelopes in the backyard with 8, quote, invitations in the envelopes, and the show ended with them scrambling to find these invites which at the time the feeds ended, Jasmine was the first one to find one, and then Monty and Brittany found him. So we knew Jasmine, Monty, and Brittany were going to play in the second part of the head of household competition. But that's all we knew. And then just before midnight Eastern time, while I was standing on a ladder installing a ceiling fan, that's where I was, and I didn't see it for 25 minutes or 30 minutes, the feeds came back, and Monty is the one that got the head of household won the head of household competition. I don't know any details on what it was. I'm going to guess it may have been some kind of a quiz, but I'm not sure. But in any case, Monty's head of household, which means because of the twist, let's talk about that for a second. The twist that Julie, on the bestie thing that Julie introduced was that, of course, Terrence, since he was staying, he got to pick one bestie pair to team up with to become a third person. So it's a trio. And Julie said, whoever's left from the next nomination, eviction, will get to pick as well. So you could, in theory, because now it's happened, Monty's the head of household. Terrence picked Monty and Joseph to pair up with. So now Monty, Joseph, and Terrence are all safe because Monty is head of household. And so next week, one of two people is going to get evicted next Thursday. That evictee could, in theory, say, I want to join Monty Taylor and Joseph and Terrence, and we're going to have a 4-person bestie group. Now, the downside of that is that if they get nominated, all 4 of them are nominated. But then again, all 4 of them will play in the power veto competition. So it's a power block. Think about that. There could potentially next week be 4 people playing for the power veto, and if they get it, all 4 of them come down and 2 other people have to go up. That's getting kind of strong. I would probably select those 4 because we've got a 4-person chance. We got a better chance to win head of household. For one of us to win better, it's making a power alliance. Yeah, I don't know how much longer this is going to go on for, but it has the potential to build a power. Let an alliance work as a block. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know the numbers. I'd have to do the numbers to see how quick it would be before you had the entire place on one side of the house. I mean, you go from 4 next week to 5. And then suddenly you've got one entire group of besties that is an alliance. Except for Terrence, he's a part of that group, and he is not in the alliance. So, yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't. It's interesting, but I'm not a fan. But that's where we're at. So feeds came back. Monty, Joseph, and Terrence are now safe with Monty head of household. Have-nots were done. The outgoing have-nots, which is Indy and Alyssa, were supposed to pick the next set. And there was this discussion about, well, let's pick the ones who haven't done it before. Well, who hasn't done it before? The only pair of besties that haven't done it before were Jasmine and Turner. Jasmine's not happy. Jasmine doesn't want to be a have-not, but that is who it ended up being, was Jasmine and Turner. So Jasmine is a have-not. She is hopping around now instead of squeaking around now for the most part. She's with her crutches and her cast, and she's been told you need to start doing stuff on that foot, which some would say is a bit. She should have been told that. She should have been doing it for a while, not just recently, but it is what it is. So, got Jasmine as a have-not, Monty as head of household, and Turner. Jasmine and Turner as have-nots with Monty as head of household. Now we got to come up with who we're going to nominate. Now, excuse me, the leftover crew was working, to kind of continue the confusion all night after the feeds came back. It's going around. They're doing a good job. Nicole, Daniel, Alyssa, Jasmine, and whoever the person I didn't mention is, they're all quite confused and upset, and they're still mad about Taylor, especially Nicole, and Daniel are just still. You would think that she is obviously Nicole's arch enemy, even though Taylor doesn't see Nicole as an arch enemy. She sees her as a strong competitor, but I think she would rather get Daniel out first. So I did see Taylor talking to Joseph. At one point, we had Joseph and Taylor talking in the bathroom downstairs, and then in the have-not room, we had Monty, Kyle, Brittany, and Michael talking. Turner briefly appeared in the bathroom. So we had the leftovers talking in two different groups. Joseph was talking to Taylor about how he really wanted thought that Taylor should go up against Nicole, and that she'd be safe, and that would be a sure way to get rid of Nicole, because Joseph really seems to want to get rid of Nicole. Taylor, on the other hand, seemed more interested in getting rid of Daniel, who, remember, is paired with Kyle, but Joseph kept pushing and saying, you really need to do this, and then I'll be there for you, and I'll make sure that he goes next, but we really need to get Nicole first. So that's the conversation that I actually got to see a little bit of, and kind of thought, oh, it looks like it's going this way, maybe. And the way Joseph talked, you would have thought that that was what the whole leftovers group had already kind of agreed on, and he was just trying to, reassure Taylor that it'll be okay. But in reality, I don't think they've yet decided who they're putting up. Maybe they have way late. It's possible. But it's going to be one of three pairs. It's going to be Kyle and Daniel, Taylor and Nicole, or Indy and Alyssa. So one of those three pairs is going, which you didn't hear me say the name Jasmine, because that means Jasmine is safe. So Jasmine isn't going this week, as far as I know, unless she comes up in a renom from a power veto. I don't think she's going to. I don't know. I think it's going to be between Daniel and Nicole going. That's where I think it's going to go. And they will not obviously be able to necessarily save themselves, both of them. And unless something really weird happens, the leftover alliance shouldn't break. It will be six. It'll be what? It'll be 6 votes. Or no, it'll be 5 votes to evict this week. No, wait. It was 6 votes to evict. So it'll be 5. 5 would be a tie, broken by Monty. So 5 or 6 to go, and we still have 7 leftovers, plus Terrence. At this point, I think Terrence is very grateful to the leftovers for saving him. So yeah, definitely thinking Nicole or Daniel likely to get kicked out this coming Thursday. There we go. There's a wrap. Again, they may have come with more firm decisions since I checked in and did a quick read of what's been going on. But at this point, I think that's where things stand. I may come back and let you know more tonight, this afternoon, if I come across something really game-changing that I've kind of led you down the wrong path. But right now, I think that's fair enough. Hope you guys have a good Friday. I should talk to you again tomorrow, unless I talk to you later today. And thanks for listening. I have managed to do a Twitch the last 2 or 3 days, afternoons. So if you go to Twitch and search for BB Gossip, you can watch those, which is just me talking while I drive. But honestly, if you're listening to this, you're not going to hear much that you haven't heard before, other than I get to interact with fans, with them asking questions and chatting. But we also talk about totally non-related stuff. And there's lots of pauses while I wait for people to ask questions. So with all that in mind, if you're looking for more content from me, that's where you can find it. Again, it is Twitch, TWITH, and if you search for BB Gossip, you should find mine. One difference between those and the Periscopes of old is that they only last like 2 weeks, and then they're gone. And I don't think there's a way to archive them. Matter of fact, I think I had to tick a box to keep them for 2 weeks. So I'm not a big fan of that. But I'm too lazy to try to save them or anything. because that would just be hoarding, and I already do enough of that in real life with other stuff. All right, I think that's it for now, guys. Thanks again. We will talk to you again tomorrow, or maybe today. We don't know. All right, see ya. Bye-bye.